What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Jake Shavink here. For those who've been checking out the channel recently and subbing, I appreciate you guys. Packers fans, I appreciate your patience as well. After the NFL draft concluded, took a couple days off, but we're back now for the Packers film room on every prospect they selected in the 2021 NFL draft. And we're starting off with Eric Stokes, the first round pick, the corner from Georgia. Again, pretty similar stuff as we've been doing if you've been following long enough. Go through the measurables quick, go through a quick scouting report, and then we'll dive into the film. And at the end, we'll talk about his fit and projection, what we see in him for year one and beyond. So without further ado, let's dive right in to the Eric Stokes film room. All right, so first things here, we're going to go through the measurables here. 6 foot, 194. Obviously an elite RAS score, what the Packers are known for. Obviously the big thing, the 4.2540, absurd time. For a corner, for anyone really, has the good size, elite speed, elite explosion, and poor agility. So that's kind of the summary of what his relative athletic score card looks like. Quickly to the stats, obviously, 78 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, a sack, 4 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, and 22 passes defensed in his time with the Bulldogs. Very solid numbers overall for Eric Stokes. And then here we go. Quick scouting report on him. Really the strengths. The speed to carry wide receivers vertically is huge. It's important in today's NFL. So many speedsters out there. You see speedsters get overdrafted a little bit now in the NFL draft, and everybody wants a speedster in their offense. So to have a guy who can run with them and keep in their hip pocket vertically is huge. I think he flips his hips extremely well, especially when he's working vertically. You see him at the line of scrimmage flip his hips quickly and efficiently, and he's got good closing speed when coming downhill and getting to the ball. He's got quick transitions in the short area near the line of scrimmage, does really well against slant routes and quick drag routes over the middle, does a good job transitioning quickly and staying with the receiver. He's got good ball skills. He finds the ball, good hand-eye coordination to finish interceptions. We'll see a few of those on the film. He's got pretty good awareness when ball's in the air as well, to make a move on the football. Sometimes gets a little bit caught up in a spot, so we'll talk about that a little bit, but I think awareness overall is very good. He's opportunistic with turnovers, and that's where the speed comes into play, and we'll get into that as well. But once the ball's in his hands, the offense better be panicking. They better be getting back. And he's physical and press. He gets his hands on when he needs to and can reroute and sort of delay timing and mess with it, which is good. He's tough at the catch point, definitely. Obviously, he's got the production at the catch point with the 22 passes defense in his career. And I'd say he's a pretty good wrap-up tackler as well. He doesn't really attack. He more absorbs, but he's a good wrap-up tackler in space. Weaknesses. You see him get grabby at times when he loses leverage, and that leads to some flags, and you'll see that as well on tape with him. The big thing is his balance and transitional quickness at the top of stems, especially in intermediate and deep routes. And this is something we'll dive into for sure when we take a look at the film. But again, that's something that is a little concerning for me, concerning Stokes. His transitions to work back downhill on a vertical plane are also a little bit choppy, a little bit stiff, and allows a little bit of separation for receivers who do a good job of sinking their hips. So, and again, we talked about it, more absorber than attacker as a tackler. And really, how does he fit best? And we'll talk about that as well. Is he best near the line of scrimmage? Is he best kind of in this off and bail technique where he's kind of got his butt to the sideline and facing the field? How are the Packers going to use him? And we'll talk about that as well at the end. But now, and so when we dive into this film room real quick, I want to highlight a few things that you guys should be watching for. I want to watch for his balance. I want to watch what he does with his awareness. I want you to watch what he does at the catch point. I want you to watch his transitions and where he's at and what technique he is in coverage. Those 5 things as we move into this film room, and let's dive in. All right, here, guys, as we dive into the film room, we're going to go through 5 games. We're going to start with the Alabama game. This was a little bit more of a struggle with Eric Stokes. Got put in a blender a little bit by their top guys. But we'll start, obviously, here, bottom of your screen. You're going to look at him in coverage against Devontae Smith. You can see him lose balance there on that transition at the top of Smith's stem. Doesn't lose that, get targeted, but still, that's something to concern. There's the drag route by Billingsley. Stays quick, stays in the hip pocket. Good job there. We see him close Again, absorbs, but he wraps up well. He's a good tackler in space. Here you're going to see him kind of sink down the field a little bit, and Jones is going to release this. And I think he gets a little bit caught in no man's land here, where he needs to get back a little deeper to make this play. Ultimately ends up incomplete, but that's just something with his awareness and deeper coverage when talking about zone. So here in the slot, you're going to see him again. Waddle has quick transitions. They're very subtle, but look at the separation that unfortunately Stokes gives up there. And here's another one. Waddle carrying him vertically. And again, see him a little bit choppy and not as quick to transition back downhill there. Another one here against Waddle. Waddle's speed, again, he flips his hips a little too soon and he's already going vertical, and Waddle's wide open over the middle. So these transitions in the vertical plane are something to watch. But now here's what he does really well. And again, for all these bad reps that we're showing you, that we show you the weaknesses a little bit, there's all of these where he's, again, bottom of your screen, turns, flips the hips, and he's even with Mechie down the field. There's so many of examples of that I just didn't even want to include them all because he does so well and he doesn't get targeted there. But again, here's another one. Easy. These possession receivers with 4.5, 4.6 speed, they're going to be no problem with him carrying vertically down the field. So as we shift, obviously, to Arkansas, there's that little open up technique. And let's go back just quickly and talk about it. Where, again, you're going to see him, and this really isn't any rep to show you, but again, just something that I think we should talk about is you see him play this kind of look towards the sideline a little bit. And that's part of where I think he does better working over the middle of the field with his transitions in the intermediate area when he's in that technique and not press at the line of scrimmage. Here, again, does a good job transitioning in that little short in route. Here, bottom of your screen gets a little bit off balance here at the bottom there, you can see. But once again, he's in a good position when the ball comes out. Not a really great route run by the receiver. They kind of got caught up. But again, ball's in his hands. What happens? He had the good hand-eye coordination, but the speed to take it to the house is the most important. Again, top of your screen against Auburn now. Again, loses a little bit of balance there, working vertically. And that's just something that, he's going to have to continually work on, is that balance when he transitions. Now, slot here against Schwartz. What does he do? Schwartz is 4.2 speed. Stokes right in his hip pocket the entire way down the field. Again, he's in the slot here. You can see he's physical against Seth Williams. He's right in the hip pocket. Again, stays with him. He's physical. He did a great job against two very good Auburn receivers in this game. Now, this rep here, I want to talk about as well. He's at the 20-yard line, far side of the field here. You're going to see Auburn run this little verticals concept here. And what he's going to do, obviously Nix is pressured in the backfield, but Stokes is working inside there to take that more slot seam away to make a longer throw for Nix. So he has to, on the move, make a throw to the outside and hope it gets there. It does not. So pressure did a good job, but Stokes did a good job in coverage as well. Good awareness to stay inside. Now, top of your screen again, far side of the field. This is Schwartz in coverage, step for step. He's going to be able to take those guys with speed on vertically with no problem. All right, Florida game again. I want to talk about this again. Top of the route. You see receivers sink the hips to work back to the football, and where's Stokes? He loses a little bit of balance. And this is something, again, I wanted to bring up because you see it a lot on tape. What's he doing top of the screen? Look how physical he is. Again, just returns that physicality, reciprocates it, and breaks the pass up at the catch point. Very good job there. Now, Stokes here on the outside, bottom of your screen, routes working back. Ball is let go from Trask already. Stokes has his eyes up, sees it where the ball is going, gets in position, comes off of his man, and makes this interception. Good hand-eye coordination, holds on to it. We're not done, though. Again, good field vision. Once he finds the lane with that speed, opportunistic with the football in his hands. Here's something Joe Barry and the defense is going to like. Comes downhill and runs support from the top of your screen and makes the play. Now, final stuff here against Tennessee. These possession receivers, he's going to be able to get his hands on them, stay physical, over the middle of the field, break that pass up. Again, these 4.5, 4.6 receivers who are possession guys who win over the middle, he can keep up with these guys. He transitions well enough. Again, it's not perfect, and we've talked about it, but he transitions well enough, and he's physical enough to stay with receivers like that. They're not going to give him a lot of issues. And again, he's in position here. Good job sinking into coverage. This is almost a quarters look a little bit here. A little bit of 2 under, a little bit though as well. You can see ball comes out a little wobbly, but Stokes, opportunistic, finds the football, interception. So Stokes does a really good job with that. So Eric Stokes, what do we see with him and the Packers in year 1? Truthfully, I'm not sure he starts on the outside. And we've talked about this, though, with the transitions, with balance. And I think those are clear issues. And with guys like Keenan Allen and Thielen and Robinson, those guys in your division especially, are going to make things a little difficult on the outside when you're manning them up in coverage. So in a defense like Barry's that may not operate with a lot of man coverage, Stokes will have to get more comfortable with zone and passing defenders off, working back downhill to get to guys. Transitions will be key. He can close with speed, which is good, and he's a physical tackler. So could he end up on the outside in year 1? It's very possible, but he also could play some star nickel role where you see he can stay physical with guys and be good in those short area transitions to stick with breakup passes at the catch point. He's tough there. So it's very possible we see Stokes, obviously a lot of upside with that speed and the ability to carry receivers, ability at the catch point, what he can do with the ball in his hands. There's so many good traits on film with him that there's just obviously things he has to clean up. But he can reach a high ceiling. It's going to depend on how Joe Barry uses him in coverage, what coverages we're going to see from the Packers to fully maximize Stokes' ability. So, truthfully, it'll be interesting to see how he's used in year 1, and obviously we'll have film on that when the season rolls around. But I think Stokes was maybe a little bit of a reach for the Packers at 29, not going to lie. But again, the upside is there. And again, if he's used correctly and you can figure out what technique you like to use him in, if it's in zone, he's going to have to learn a little bit. But if he's up with a guy in man and press where he can flip his hips quick vertically, he can get his hands on and reroute and disrupt timing, he's going to be effective year 1. But if it's more zone, more mixed coverages, may take some time, may take a little bit of getting up to speed and developing. So again, temper expectations for Stokes, but I think the upside is there. So Packer fans, if you enjoyed this video, hope you did. Drop a like, hit that subscribe button if you're new. A lot more film rooms coming soon for the rest of the draft class. Excited for that. And obviously we're expanding a little bit. More NFL videos in general. We're going to have some draft recaps for other teams, other fits on film rooms. So if you have Packers fans, if you have a friend, family member, somebody who's a fan of a different team, I encourage you to bring them over to this channel because there's going to be a lot more. But the Packers stuff, I promise, will not go away. So thank you guys for sticking on this video this long. I appreciate you so much. I will see you very soon. Farewell.